Today's letter is the letter C. C is for corn dog. So today I'm going to show you how to draw this cute little corn dog couple. This is an easy beginner drawing lesson for kids of all ages. Today we're using coloring pencils, so let's begin. Hi everyone, welcome to Rain Francis Art for Kids. My name is Rain. In this series, Alphabet Soup, we choose a letter from the alphabet and we draw food that starts with that letter. So let's draw. This is what you'll need for today's drawing lesson. You're going to need a piece of paper. I have a dollar store drawing pad. You're going to need a pencil, an eraser, and if you have an old paintbrush lying around that you've never used to paint with, it's great to wipe off eraser bits and dust from your page. You will also need color, so let me show you the colors I'm using. We're going to have yellow for the mustard. We're going to have red for the actual hot dog that goes inside the corn dog and for the ketchup. I'm using an orangey brown color for, I guess, the bun or the coating of the corn dog. And I just have another kind of dark yellow color that I'm going to use for the sticks. I have a black Sharpie and I have my black fine-tipped marker that I use for outlining. All right, so let me clear my work surface here and let's begin. Now, since this is alphabet soup, we are learning how to spell. C is for corn dog, so let's draw a capital C and a small c. Now let's write out corn dog. Capital C, O, R, N, that's corn, dog with a capital D, O, and G. Speaking of dog, my dog is snoring. Okay, let's draw a couple of corn dogs here. First, we're going to draw an oval shape. Just like that. That's one corn dog. Now let's draw another oval shape on this side. Okay? And we'll draw a couple of sticks at the bottom. Because a corn dog is basically a hot dog that's deep fried in batter. Some people call them pogos. I'm going to make this guy a little thicker. So I'm going to erase this side here. You can do it whatever way you want, but I just want him to be a little bigger. There. Because this one is big, so I want to make sure they're about the same size. But that's just me being picky. Okay, there we go. So those are our two corn dogs. Now what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to draw two oval eyes, big oval eyes. And I'm going to do that. And we'll put in some detail later, like the mouth and the eyebrows and things like that. Now watch what I'm doing for the pupils. I'm putting them on the side like this, because it looks like he's going to look at this one here. Now for the mustard, we're going to put his mouth maybe about here. So we'll put the mustard squiggly just under here, kind of doing S shapes. And then I'm going to go back up like that, and that's going to be our mustard. Okay, now for this corn dog, we're going to show that he's had a bite taken out of him. So watch, I'm just putting a circle like this on the top, and then another circle on the inside, and that's going to be where someone bit off the top of him. And we can see the hot dog in the middle. So we'll do the same thing. We'll give this guy some big oval eyes. And we'll make him looking at this guy. So watch, we put the pupils on this side and we'll give him a mouth. So it does look like they're looking at each other. And he's going to have some ketchup on him. So we'll do the same thing with the squiggly lines. And then we'll join them like this. Okay, so now we're ready to add some color. Why don't we start with our yellow and we'll color in the mustard right away. Now I'm using coloring pencils today. You could use markers, you could use crayons, whatever you like. But if you're using coloring pencils, I want you to turn your pencil once in a while so you don't wear it all down on one side. And you don't have to press down hard at all because we're going to color everything in 2 times. I just colored this in once. That means I put in 1 layer of color. Now I'm going to color it in a second time. That means I'm adding 2 layers of color. That's why you don't have to press down very hard, because once we start adding layers, you can see the difference between 2 and 1 layer. It gets more colorful. The darks get darker and the lighter colors get very bright. Okay, so the mustard's done. We can take our red color now and we're going to just color in that circle in there because that's the hot dog that's inside of the corn dog or the pogo. It's kind of that color. And I'm going to go in and put in a second layer right away. You see the difference? And I'm not pressing down hard at all. That's why adding layers or coloring in multiple times really, really makes the colors look nice. You can always add 3, 4 layers, whatever you want to do. Since we have our red out, why don't we color in our little ketchup squiggly here? And I'm going to add 2 layers to this as well. When I was a kid, we used to buy these, and where I lived they were called pogos. And they were so good. so good. I haven't had one in lots of years. But I remember going to the amusement park and I'd buy them there. They were so yummy. Okay, I'm going to put in a second layer. Have you ever had a corn dog or a pogo? I used to love them with just mustard. They were nice and crunchy on the outside because they were deep fried, you know. A really nice summertime snack or lunch. Although we are in September now. Summer is kind of ending. Now, remember I said I had a little darker yellow color? That's for the sticks, but you can definitely just use regular yellow, or you can use brown or beige, whatever you have. But I'm coloring in those sticks. And I'm going to color in a second layer right away. There we go. Now I've got that orangey, that's my red, I've got an orangey brown kind of color here. You can choose whatever color you want for the actual batter of the corn dog, but it should be kind of a brown color. And I'm going to color in the whole pogo or corn dog except for the eyes, and I'm not going to color in the mustard, the ketchup, or the hot dog, okay? So here I go, coloring in the corn dog. I'm being careful not to get any of that color into the eyes. My poor dog is coughing. He has a little problem with his nose and he's always trying to clear his throat, so you might hear him coughing a lot in my videos. Don't forget to turn your pencil once in a while so you don't wear it all down on one side, okay? And because we're going to add a second layer, you don't have to press down hard at all. So now I'm going to be careful not to get any of this color into the mustard. These corn dogs really remind me so much of summer. That's when I used to eat them. I don't remember ever having one in the winter. And my stomach is growling just thinking of food. All right, I'm going to go in right away and put a second layer of that orangey brown color into my corn dog. And a second layer, like I said, just means I'm coloring it in 2 times. If I wanted to, I could put in a third layer, meaning that I would color it in how many times? 3 times. Layering is a really good method of adding color. And we layer while we paint as well. Lots and lots of layers when you're painting. It's good for creating all sorts of art. When you think about it, if you're creating a collage is something that you glue different things onto your page, different images. You're basically layering all of those images as well. So we layer a lot when we create art. All right, there's my first corn dog. I think I'm good with 2 layers. So now I'm going to do this one. And like I said, I'm going to try not to get any of this color into the eyes or into the red. But everything else, I'm coloring in this orangey brown color. I was saying before that I used to get these corn dogs, or pogos as we called them, at the amusement park. And I remember being so afraid of going on some of those rides. I was so afraid of the roller coaster, but I went on anyway because all my friends went on. Even though I was scared, I went on the roller coaster and I screamed the whole time. I screamed. Not when we were going up, but when we were going down, oh my gosh, it was too fast for me. Don't forget to turn your pencil once in a while. There was another one called the pirate ship ride. That one scared me too, because when they go too fast for me, I know it's supposed to be fun, but I was never someone who liked to go on fast rides. I liked going on the merry-go-rounds and the carousels with the horses. That was my speed. All right, I'm adding a second layer of color now to my other corn dog. What was your favorite ride at the amusement park? Have you ever gone to one? Another one I couldn't stand was the haunted house. I hated that one. I got scared very easily as a kid. But I did like one that was, you went in water and it was called the log ride or the loom ride. I forget what it was called. But you were in like a boat that was shaped as a log. And you went up and down through the water and everyone got wet. Everything splashed. That was a lot of fun. I remember that, the log ride. Lots of fun. But I haven't done that for a long time either. When you're a kid, you should take advantage of doing things like that, because once you become an adult, sometimes there's no time for it. but we should make time. Always make time for fun. Okay, there we go. Now we can start adding a little detail. I'm going to take my fine liner black marker and I'm going to outline everything. Every single thing I'm going to outline. And I'm going to try to be careful. I want to follow my pencil mark. And I have to concentrate here. Doing the eyes. There we go. And the smile. And I'm going to outline that mustard. All right, there we go. And the sticks. And I'm going to do the same thing for this little fella here. This is a good exercise for you to pay attention to detail and concentrate on what you're doing. Just take your time. Try to follow your pencil mark if you're outlining. If you don't have a marker, you could use a black coloring pencil for this. Okay, these are looking really cute. And the smile. And the ketchup squiggle. There. Now, while I have my fine liner out, I'm going to actually give this guy some cheeks. And what we do is we put little semicircles at the end of each side of the mouth. And that way it looks like he's got some cheeks. But I am going to take my black Sharpie. You could use any marker you want. I'm going to use my black Sharpie to fill in the eyes because I just find it's easier than using the little fine liner. There we go. Aren't these cute? How are you guys doing? Did you enjoy what you did? Now I want you to always sign your work, my friends. I'm really happy with this. I like how this looks. I want you to take ownership of the beautiful work of art that you just created. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, my friends, and we'll see you next time on Alphabet Soup. Thanks for watching. Bye.